You would expect that if they're going to put a feature like this in the fridge that it would work all the time. So that is something that's a little bit disappointing to me. Hey guys, it's Bianca. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. This is going to be the fourth and final first impression review on my channel for the Cafe series line. So if you have not checked out any of those other videos for the microwave, the double oven range, and the dishwasher, I will link the playlist up in the cards right here, as well as the individual videos in the description box below. So make sure you check those out if you are interested. As I mentioned in all of the other videos, this is not a sponsored video. We purchased all of these appliances on our own. So all of these opinions I am giving are my own personal feedback, and it's just what I wanted to share with all of you. I believe I did mention this in one of the other videos, but we did get a rebate for purchasing 4 different appliances, so you may want to check out the Cafe website to see what rebates they are currently offering. One other thing that I think I did not mention in any of the other videos is that the handles for all of the appliances are customizable. They offer them in a few different colors, so if you didn't want what it came with, which for the stainless steel ones, they come with the stainless steel handles. If you did not want those, then you can opt to choose different handles. I think possibly down the line we may decide to customize the handles a little bit and choose a different color, but for now I like the way it looks. Everything matches together. Obviously today I am covering the refrigerator. It is the Smart 4-door French door refrigerator as part of the Cafe series line, and it is currently selling for a little over $3,500 at Home Depot, and as usual it will be linked down below. There are 2 main differences that set this refrigerator apart from other fridges on the market right now, and that is the convertible drawer, which is the middle drawer right here, as well as the LED backlit wall, which I will show you in a couple minutes. This version of the fridge is the 27.8 cubic feet, so it is not counter depth, and what that means is that it does stick out from the wall. So we do have a counter on the other side of the fridge, which I think it's a little bit hard to see, but you'll notice that it does stick out from the counter. So if it were counter depth, then it would sit flush against the wall and it wouldn't be protruding out, but that would make the refrigerator smaller, so we opted to go for the non-counter depth. Now that I've covered the background of this appliance, let's get into the pros and cons. If you've watched all my other review videos, then I know you will know what this first pro is, but it is aesthetics, of course, because I love the aesthetics of all of these appliances. They look really nice and cohesive in the kitchen, and I love all of the little copper accents that they have as the signature tag for these appliances. And my second pro is the convertible drawer, which is the center drawer right here, and it can be used as a freezer for a soft freeze, and it can also be used as a refrigerator for meats, beverages, snacks, and even wine. So I love this drawer. It is pretty convenient to have this if we were to be entertaining. So in a non-COVID world, we will probably get back to entertaining, and this will provide a perfect fridge to store some wine and a charcuterie board. My third pro is the LED light wall. It is the backlit wall in the fridge, and I have never seen this before. I think GE does offer this in their profile line. It is so cool. It illuminates the entire fridge and it illuminates all of the food pretty nicely. My fourth pro is the autofill water feature. As you can see, this does provide access to water and ice on the front of the refrigerator, so I do like that it has that. And then it has this autofill button here in the center, so that if you stick a cup or a glass underneath here, you can hit that autofill button and it will determine the size of the cup and just fill it to the top itself. You can just hit the button and walk away, which is pretty convenient. As a mom, I'm constantly running around, and when I'm trying to put a meal together for my daughter, it's easier for me to just stick her cup under there, hit the autofill button, and walk away and go do something else. So I really love that feature. My fifth pro is the fruit and veggie drawers that are in the main compartment of the fridge. There are 2 different drawers and they're both sealed differently. They have humidity control systems in them so that they provide high humidity for vegetables and low humidity for fruit, which I think is really nice to have, something that you wouldn't really think that you need, but it is something that's nice to have, especially if you buy produce pretty often. My sixth pro is the deep door shelves. So when you open the fridge, on either sides of the door there are shelves, but on the right door there is deeper shelves in that door. So you can store a lot of bigger items like gallons of milk, gallons of water, and as well as a ton of different condiments, which we currently have in our fridge. So that is pretty nice to have more space, because typically with these French door refrigerators, they are smaller doors than the traditional large door refrigerator, which can hold a lot more within the door. So the fact that they make these pretty deep, it is nicer to have that. My seventh pro is the adjustable shelf. On the second shelf of the fridge, there is an adjustable shelf that you can push back if you have something that you want to store in the front that is a little bit taller. So we do tend to store beverages such as orange juice in that front section, and we can still use the back section of that shelf to store something like eggs, which is what we usually keep back there. My eighth pro is the two freezer drawers within the freezer itself. So in the very bottom drawer of the refrigerator is the freezer, and it does have two other drawers within it, so that just provides more opportunity to make it organized, and I like that because organization is key when you're a mom and you're busy. So I like having that option to make sure that I know where everything is and everything has a place. My ninth and final pro is the lock control. So there is an option on this front panel here to lock the controls of the fridge on the outside. So just this main section right here, you can lock the buttons, and that's important to me because my daughter is so curious about touching any buttons, and I know that ever since we've gotten this fridge, she's been pretty curious to touch everything. So occasionally we will lock the button to make sure that she doesn't try to dispense any water or ice or change any of the settings of the refrigerator, like the temperature. Okay, that covers all the pros. Let's get into the cons. My first con is the low rattle sound that you can hear when the fridge is close to empty. So usually when it is time for us to go food shopping, the fridge is a little on the empty side, and I don't know if that's what causes it to make that sound, but that's just my guess because that's typically when I hear it. I guess because of the fact that maybe the fridge is empty and it's not as weighted down, it can cause the fridge to make a rattling sound, and I think that stems from the ice maker. So you can kind of hear the fridge making ice a little bit more or gearing up to make ice, and it makes this low rattle sound. And I don't know if you remember in the dishwasher video I did talk about how it makes a sound when you shut it. So I'm a little, I guess, more in tune to sounds, and they bother me a little bit more, so that's not something that I like to hear. I like when things are quiet from appliances, so that bothers me sometimes. My second con is the inconsistency when it comes to the autofill feature. So sometimes I will put a glass under there and I'll hit the autofill button and it'll stop like halfway through the glass. I don't know what exactly causes that. I don't know what makes the sensor think that it's completed, but sometimes it'll just stop halfway and I'll have to hit it again, which not a huge deal, but you would expect that if they're gonna put a feature like this in the fridge that it would work all the time. So that is something that's a little bit disappointing to me. My third con is the water button sensitivity. So the water bottle that I have is a little bit larger, so it doesn't fit perfectly in this compartment here, but when I go to fill it, I have to hold my hand there. So when I do that, occasionally the slightest bit of movement of pulling away from the button will cause it to stop and I'll have to do it again. So that's a little bit annoying. I wish it wasn't as sensitive, but then I've seen other fridges where it's not as sensitive and it'll kind of get stuck and you want it to stop filling up and it keeps going. So also not a huge deal, but something that I noticed and wanted to point out. My fourth con is the fact that it's hard to keep the outside of this fridge clean. That's pretty typical when it comes to stainless steel appliances. It's pretty hard to keep it fingerprint free or watermark free. When you're running around the kitchen trying to cook, sometimes you'll grab the handles with dirty hands and that'll leave marks everywhere. But that is typical, as I said, when it comes to stainless steel appliances. So not a huge deal. I think I mentioned this in the dishwasher video, but I do buy the Wayman stainless steel wipes, so that gets this fridge pretty clean and streak free and also fingerprint free. So it's just something to think about when you are considering these appliances. My fifth and final con is that these doors are heavy. So when you pull them open for the refrigerator or the middle convertible drawer or even the freezer, they are heavier, so you do have to tug a little bit more. It's not as easy to open it, which that just means that the seal is really good on the fridge, so it'll keep all the coldness inside, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I can see for someone that is a little bit weaker how difficult that would be to get these doors open. Okay guys, that is gonna do it for this video, and that wraps up the first impression review series that I did on my channel. So if you guys enjoyed all of these reviews, make sure you give this video as well as the other videos a thumbs up. It'll help to promote these videos on YouTube so that anyone else who is looking for reviews for these appliances will see them. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below, or you can even reach out to me on Instagram and ask me through there. I will leave my handle on the screen right here. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you next time. Bye. Okay, hair. Let's not act crazy in this video. And I love all of the copper accents